Welcome back, friends. This is Checkmate, and today I come to you with another trade. This was a scalp trade that I took on Ethereum, and since then I have taken other trades, but they haven't really played out, so there's nothing to review there. But this is the latest, biggest trade. Not the biggest trade I've taken, but it's like a decent sized trade. Good enough to show us example of the powers of market cipher. And just remember, I'm not a professional trader. I'm just documenting my journey, and hopefully this can help other people or just entertain you. Whatever it is, thank you for watching. And so let's get started with the review. So the entry of the trade is here. You can see it on my funder account terminal. We had two entries at 26.22 and 26.25. We closed both entries at 26.50. Okay. And this trade was close to $1,000 worth of profit. So let's go ahead and get started with the review. So the first thing that I saw was this interesting chart pattern, and we were in a uptrend. So I thought there was a good possibility that if we broke this triangle upwards, we were gonna continue to see price appreciation. And in the higher time frames of market cipher, to me there were not enough indications that this could be a good swing trade. However, in the lower time frames, I could see the potential for a scalp trade. Starting with the 10-minute, we can see this money flow curving to the inside. And what typically happens when money flow curves to the inside is it comes back up. So that was the first thing that I saw, the first potential thing. The next thing that I saw was this RSIs. The RSIs typically have to be tight and together for a stronger move to come. And when these RSIs are separated, typically it's the thinner RSI that gets separated. And when it does, it hints to a weaker move in price. And so what I saw was that this pink RSI was too separated from the thicker color-coded RSI red. And so my theory was that this pink RSI was going to eventually turn around up like this and meet with this one like that. So that was the second thing, and that was one of the biggest indications on why I took this trade. Of course, with the triangle structure and the money flow. Another thing that I saw was that VWAP, it was getting smaller in the downside, suggesting that it was about to cross to the upside. And VWAP is one of the strongest indicators of market cipher B, in my opinion, coupled with the money flow and the momentum waves. So if you zoom out, you can see that this momentum waves, we have an anchor wave, trigger. This is also trigger because it's below the -60 line. And then we can go to the 6-minute time frame. We can see the same thing is happening with these RSIs. This color-coded RSI is still above the 60 line, which is bullish, and this pink has hit the bottom, and it now has to come up. And with a move up in this RSI to meet this one, also a move in price occurs. In this case, to the upside. I also saw that if you squeeze the market cipher B indicator, you can see a little bit of curvature in the momentum waves, hinting that this is probably the top of these momentum waves, and that we would start to see maybe something like this. Okay. Now, if we go, what the fuck? If we go to the 3-minute time frame, we can see the money flow is already the downside and it's curving. It's curving back to the inside. Our sides are down low. They're tied together. The VWAP, we have anchor, trigger, trigger, trigger. It's coming to the upside. Momentum wave. It's coming to the upside. We have little head and shoulders here. Head, shoulder, shoulder. Printing. And I don't even think I look at the 1 minute at this time, but let's see how this trade played out. Okay, this is where I closed the trade, 26.50, and you can compare it here. So, as I had stated before, the RSIs typically move together, and when they don't, it suggests a weaker move. So this RSI came all the way up with the price up. Now, the reason that I closed this trade was because of market Cipher B. What did I see in market Cipher B was a top. Well, hold on. I think I'm getting ahead of myself. I'm getting ahead of myself a little bit. So let's go here. Okay, so once the trade started to play out, I went into the higher time frames. And we could see a trigger wave had printed on the 15-minute. Money flow was coming back up. The VWAP was sharp up. RSIs were up. We could see a very tight trigger wave, momentum trigger wave, printing with the VWAP coming up. RSIs were still high, and the 30-minute also printed a green dot with the money flow tight and thick and high. VWAP was coming up, and thus served as further confirmation that this price was going to keep going up. Okay, so now we can let it play out. There, and this is where I closed the trade. So what I saw for me to close the trade was simply 10-minute was printing a bearish divergence. A bearish divergence is when price comes up and the momentum waves are coming down, so they're diverging from each other, and so that means that, you know, price has to come back down. Also, some money flow was coming down, VWAP was coming down. The 15-minute time frames also show the same thing, a very tight trigger wave to the downside with the lower high on the money flow. VWAP was coming down, RSIs were pointing down. 20-minute, you could kind of see that it was going to print a trigger wave to the downside. 6-minute was printing a top with a money flow divergence, bearish divergence, and that was my indication to get out of this trade. And I had no issue doing that because it was a scalp trade. The margin that I utilized, I think, was about $20,000 with a 5x leverage, and that's standard on the breakout prop platform. But with that being said, that's the scalp trade that I took about 4 days ago. It was almost $1,000 in profit after fees. And yeah, I'll be looking to trade more and find more entries and hopefully upload more content soon enough. But yeah, drop a comment if you found this helpful or if you enjoyed it. And with that being said, until next time.